Welcome back, guys, to Sensei and the Pupil. I am here with Sensei Cray and Sensei Devin.
Hey.
I am Sensei Paul, and we are going to go ahead and review the last episode of Ragna Crimson. All right? It's been a long time coming. This fight has been stretched over all these episodes. This final fight, it's the culmination. You know, we see Walter Kamui and Ragna doing their last moves.
Yeah.
Ragna just got his head back, put it on, and let us know, hey, I'm full sword now. Like, I can actually do the same thing that Walter Kamui is doing and repair my body and make my arms into weapons and everything like that. So,
What does death mean?
what does death mean? Because we also find out
What
that
does poison mean?
like votes in our world, it's the same as poison in this world. They don't matter. All right, they don't matter, but that's okay. We're here for
Too
it.
bad the audience will never get that.
They won't. Internal strife. But yeah, we're here for everything. We're okay with it. It's all canon.
I guess.
It's all canon now. You can't do nothing about it. So everybody's pulling out the last moves. What'd you guys think about speed versus speed? Because this is what happens. Like, this is a speed battle.
Go ahead, Dev.
What I think about that is that there was no training arc.
He doesn't need training.
To receive the speed you
Yeah,
need.
He doesn't need training. He doesn't need training.
Dude, you can't just like know how to wield this power like just out of nowhere.
I hate how quickly they were just leveled up like that out of nowhere.
Like this is like
I hated that.
Goku yelling as loud as he can,
Yep.
and then getting to another level of Saiyan.
Or like
Yep.
Naruto
It's like-
absorbing all the Nine Tails and just using Choco Orbs.
The Nine Tails was inside him the whole time,
And then, yeah.
so it kind of makes sense.
And
you
just
know?
like he made friends with...
and he did that through like seasons. Okay.
I mean, it was more
This-
like
this-
maybe 5
It was
10
a way
episodes.
slower progression of him controlling the Night Tails. Paul.
yeah.
Stop.
This one was
Stop.
one season.
Half an episode, he leveled up to light speed.
But he had his future self on his side. That was my point. Like, he has his future self giving him all this power. It's not just his power, it's his future
Yeah,
self's
it's
power.
Kurama's power. Not
Exactly,
Fox, but he got
exactly.
it all in one season.
Because
Compared
he
to Kurama
doesn't-
getting over 12.
Because you don't have to be
And
friends
he
with yourself,
He
okay?
also leveled up like 3 times, like in the
Yeah.
last like.
Fight.
Yeah, exactly. So that it was just.
He definitely came back
That's-
from 1 HP.
That's
for
what
sure.
I thought about speed versus speed. It was just it's too fast.
It's too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they overdid it.
Yeah,
Too fast?
It didn't really have the same.
Yeah.
When Kamui lost, it didn't have the same kind of hard hitting effect because the fight just seemed ridiculous, man. After he leveled up again to the perfect form with the sword, it just kind of seemed ridiculous.
Walter
to me.
Kamui has spent his whole entire life getting stronger, beating
Right.
these strong guys,
Right.
and Ragna just
Ragnar technically has too. But it's just he's getting it from his future self.
I'm not mad at that.
Like, that's
I'm not mad at
how
that.
he's basically intaking
I
a
just-
whole
I just-
lifetime of
there-
battles
I
in
just wish
one
I
instant.
just wish they portrayed better these level ups instead of just letting it happen and then
Oh, you're talking about head getting chopped off on both sides and then
Yeah.
putting it back together, rebuilding
Walter
their bodies?
Kamui, we saw him head get chopped off for a long time. Even by Ultimate T, like episode 11, his head got cut off. He's holding his head while he jokes with her. We saw that. That's canon.
Yeah.
He can get his head. He doesn't die like that.
Yeah.
But for Ragnar to happen, it's just like, what? Come on.
Okay.
It's like Starlia coming back and dying again.
And she's maybe still alive.
we
We
can
don't
get-
know. We didn't see her die.
Go ahead.
We just saw her dying.
Leave it.
So before that, we get to that. We see the final slashes, and Ragnar basically achieves speed of light, like speed. That's what he does.
What does that even
He,
mean?
I mean, he kills
Sorry.
monarchs. I know, like, you're hating it so
Sorry,
much. That's all right. That's all
sorry,
right.
sorry,
You're allowed to hate on it if you don't
Sorry.
like it. But all this is happening. Meanwhile, the Monarch of Claw is watching this battle. The end of it happened, and Gilzia is commenting that, it's such a shame that Walter Kamui is now dead. But she's also happy that there's someone that can actually take her on, and that's Ragna. She's
She-
kind of like,
She's low-key like me. She's just mad that she's not like part of the main story right now.
well, she's like just taking a step back and watching and
Yeah,
letting things unfold as they should.
Oh, someone can kill me. Like, bitch, nobody cares about you right now, all right?
So and I thought that was pretty cool how she's just watching all this, like smirking, like, well,
she's
Someone
she's kind of
stronger.
like Walter Kamui in the sense, just kind of wanting to push her limits and
right.
and wanting that
Is she,
battle,
though?
She wants a challenge.
Okay.
because nobody
Yeah.
nobody
Okay.
else
Okay,
has
that's
been able to challenge her.
Right, and
Fair.
that gets her all wet. You know what I'm saying? She's all sliding around.
Well, I mean, I don't know how old she is, so I don't know
she's
about
got to
that.
be at least
but-
1,000.
These dragons have like a fetish of dying. I like it.
I want to see her human backstory. That'd be sick. So I'm sure it spans all the way back to the Solarian Church, which we're going to get into right now. We see a flashback while Walter Camus is dying. You see Ultimatia watch this, and she's crying like, "No, Walter Camus!" And she, and in that instance of her rage and sorrow, she gets her powers back. And before she's all planning and talking to herself, oh, like I'm gonna bring everybody back. At the same time, you see the dragon sister get up from being taken in by also Crimson.
The dragon twins.
Yes.
Yeah, the one that's still alive. And she gets taken in by Slime and Crimson.
You see like a horn of crimson on her head or something.
Yeah,
weird.
and you see like little slime bits on her.
Yeah, slime. Yeah.
And so she's climbing up and she's watching this happen. Like, oh man, everybody's gonna come back. Oh, all I have to do is not shoot Ultimatia.
And I can have my sister back.
Yeah, everybody. So she puts the gun up and she starts crying because she ends up shooting Ultimatia like 3 times in the chest. And at the same time, Ultimatia is like, oh, I can't believe it.
She said, break yourself, fool.
Dude, yeah. Strapped to the chest. That was crazy.
It's funny she died by a bullet shot.
And I appreciate that.
I know there's special bullets. It's just like
to think of that, you know,
It's just like-
when all these dragons have all these powers and stuff,
Right.
to go out with some bullets.
I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. Whenever she was about to turn back time and
Yeah.
just do, I was like, ooh. That's such a moment. So
good moment.
yeah, that happens and you see the dragon sister cry because that was not what she wanted. She didn't want to shoot her because she wanted her to ultimately to turn back time, and that didn't happen because Crimson had other plans.
Right.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I would have been so mad. I would have been.
I would have been pissed.
Yeah, I don't think I would have watched this.
All
shit
that
anymore.
for nothing.
All that for
Yeah.
nothing.
So mad.
So that happens, and before Ultimatia ultimately dies, you see her kind of have a flashback of when she was just another clone, and she's talking to Walter Kamui about the promise that he was going to keep to her to free her from the Dragon God, and then you see a further flashback of how like that promise was even made in the first place because there happens to be another god other than the Dragon God, and he's the Sun God, and he controls the Solarian Church, and he's the one who made all the clones, the 18,000 clones that there are now or whatever.
Yeah. Kind of
And-
iffy on who he is, but he's the sun god.
We don't know. That's
We'll call him the sun god.
hopefully we'll see him next season and we'll get more backstory on the church because there are still scourges that are strong enough to stop Walter Kamui back in his past. And I don't know what age he was, but
So no, that wasn't his past. That wasn't so. So the chronological events was they made the promise of Kamui saying, "I want to pay you back for saving my life" when he
Right.
crashed the church.
he was a
and,
kid.
and then they went 8 years in the future from that.
So he's like maybe 18 maybe.
Right, but he's older. He's not younger.
No, that's what I meant. Like,
oh, okay. I'm sorry.
like he's probably he's not in his
sorry.
prime. No, it's okay. I
Yeah.
mean, it's okay. You want control. I won't let you have it. So that happens, and you see Ultimatia, have this conversation with the Sun God. And he's kind of cold hearted, bro. He killed all of those clones.
He has a mission to kill
He-
the dragons.
And
He
I
has a
kind of
mission.
respect that. I kind of respect that. He's standing on business, even though he has
He is.
no legs. But he ends up beheading every clone that disobeyed him because of her. Because after her, the rest of the batches were kind of, not really talking. Like, do you think he's in the right for that though? Like, do you think she's in the
Yeah.
right because she kind of has a cause
He made them.
of pushing back?
He made them.
So you just make children and they do what you say, and they don't have no life of their own. They're full
Yeah, but if
grown.
they're all clones, are they really a person?
Yeah.
They're like 20 something already.
I mean, they're all clones.
My body, my
They're-
choice.
They're not real, or
Whoa.
I'm not trying to put 2024's morals on these anime creatures, dog.
I'll give it to him that he's losing ground on a lot of fronts, and I don't blame him for doing that. And in that aspect,
He killed them all.
he killed most of them.
They're not all dead either, because
Right.
in the future.
Because you
there's
have there's a lot more clones. They're still making them. I'm assuming.
Right.
So all that happens in the flashback, and you see Ultimatia talk to the Dragon God, which happens to be another version of her.
Well,
It could be Karula. We don't know. We don't
I
know
don't-
who she is.
I just think that the dragon god took the shape of her.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't
The
know.
dragon god's not her.
It's-
Not who she looks like.
And she says that though too. She says you haven't been born yet. Like you haven't been made yet, but you're
Into the dragon monarch should become.
right. Well, I mean,
It's
it's kind of confusing the way
The
they say
dragon
it.
god's not her. Come on.
But it could be not there yet either.
So that's weird.
Wait, thank you.
I'm tired of seeing Ultimatia.
She's dead.
Yeah, but if she's the dragon god, then we'll see her again.
It
Or a
just,
version of her.
So I would say like seeing like the sun god and the dragon god just kind of gave me more questions that I wish could have been answered.
In the first season, yeah.
So,
Nah,
I mean, it's only the first season.
I'm happy, and now I'm hyped for the next season. Shangri-La didn't really do that for me.
yeah, but so the thing that I'm
Whoa,
thinking is,
shots
so second
fired.
season is about the other dragon monarch that
Right.
they're kind of teasing,
The next bloodline.
and I feel like they should have tied up all the loose ends for Ultimatia's monarch in this season.
Right, which they kind of did. They just showed you her past as a
But who's the
Solarian.
dragon god?
Right.
Who's
We
the
don't
sun
know.
god?
We're gonna get more of that.
The Sun God is part of the
We'll get more
Solarian
of that.
Church, and hopefully we'll see that in the second
We'll get more
season.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that the Solarian Church should be done with.
Nah.
But they can't be. They're like the other half of the fight.
Yeah.
They can't be.
Yeah, nah.
You know, I mean, you know.
Right.
So, continuing from there, we see all these flashbacks, and this is all happening in Ultimatia's mind while she's dying, and she's crawling, and the sun's burning her, and she's like, "Oh, shade!" And it's Walter Kamui's
Yeah.
sword, and then you kind of see her like fly away into the heavens. I guess it's symbolic of her dying. Her spirit passes on. We don't know that, but
She did.
yeah, she did.
Maybe she's just poisoned.
Speaking of poison, we see Ragna. After the fight, everything's done.
Where does he wake up at?
He wakes up in bed.
No, he wakes up in a cryo chamber.
Oh yeah, the cryo chamber. You're right. It's like a Saiyan
Yeah.
rebirth
That's
chamber.
what I thought immediately. Like, but then we saw him in that before too.
Yeah, in the beginning of the first half or whatever,
Yeah,
recovering, and you also see Crimson. Before that, she's there's so many losses. This was a huge fight, and we had a lot of casualties, and she brings a couple people back from on near death, not just Ragna, but also our favorite character Starlia, the one who's been dead,
Well,
alive,
she-
dead, alive.
Did she bring her back? Or?
She's in a coma.
Yeah, she's in a coma. She's not. She wasn't. She was like almost
who,
dead.
Who healed her?
Crimson did.
Had to be Crimson.
Crimson?
Crimson.
Had-
Okay, I
Well-
thought that was the gift that Ultisoro gave them.
I think and that's where I hope the comments and also everybody else would help us kind of figure out, because they didn't explain how she recovered
But it
so
just kind of gave you that
fast.
flashback.
Right, of
One
him
flash-
saying that. And they even said, Ultazoro doesn't make poisons, he makes chemicals.
Right. Which they
And-
put in her body in the first place.
Right.
It wasn't poison like we thought. It was chemicals.
And I'm assuming that once you're the superior dragon that casts whatever magic is dead, then that magic should be ending. So whatever it may be, chemicals.
I thought he gave him the antidote.
They never showed that.
Maybe him dying was the antidote, because then the chemicals went away.
And then luckily
She still died.
she did die once, sure.
She died twice. She was sitting there, eyes open, right?
The second time she didn't die, she was dying, and then her body was left.
The maiden left her. She said,
No, just go do what you need to do. Leave me here. She didn't die though.
Yeah, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't for.
It's anime logic. You don't see a body, you're
thought-
not dead.
I saw her body laying there.
But they cut
not
off.
blinking. Not blinking.
Nah,
But
Obviously, that's a gripe.
I'm happy. I'm
Obviously-
happy she's alive.
Okay, and she is alive. She's just in a coma. They don't know when she's gonna wake up. But you know who I'm really pissed about? That's not dead. Who should be dead? Mr. Shin, Mr. One Arm, One Leg
Yeah,
himself, Shin.
He
should
do.
died.
Yeah.
That's what we had talked about.
How do y'all
But,
feel about him not dying?
That kind of made me upset. So when you saw like all the ghosts of all the people in there, I was like, dude, where's he at?
I was looking
Where's
for him
he
too.
at?
I was
Dude,
looking for him
where's he
too. I
at?
was looking for him
It
too.
just makes no sense, dude. Like he had like his last hurrah.
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
headbutt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, he should
That
have
should've
like
been.
that was his last hurrah.
That was
Like,
Yeah.
that's why it was meaningful. You know, it's like Starlia dying. It's
The
meaningful.
first time, yeah.
That should have been his like last attack. That flame wingman freaking slice into
where he,
headbutt.
gained, where he gained some powers. You
Right.
Know, like, where do you get the power from? So,
That was the
It's kind of like you're facing a final boss and you yell, and then all of a sudden you like recover every HP and everything, and you can. kill the
it's
boss.
exactly like that. So
Yeah.
it really shouldn't happen.
Yep.
shout out Jinwoo.
But other than him being alive when he shouldn't be, it really fucking pissed me off when he just had the audacity to hobble over to Ragnar. I was like, "Huh, I'll catch up to you
I'm
one
catching
day."
up to you.
It's like, dude, you're missing like so many limbs.
Yeah, Ragnar's like, you're not catching.
Yeah, no, I wish he would have said
If
that.
Starly
too.
comes back alive, she
Then
can use her
he'll-
powers to, operate the arms and limbs.
Right.
He can be functional again. He
Right,
better not be stronger though.
I'll be
He
pissed.
better
if
not be
he's
stronger though.
So now you have like the new group.
Right.
You know, you have Ragna,
Crimson.
Crimson, the new guy, the tail.
What I don't know if they're still recovering or not.
Belgoth and Chimera?
Yeah, I forgot for Belgoth was.
But
was there. I
that
thought
pretty
he was
boy,
there.
the pretty boy is
No,
Golem.
the
That's
pretty boy's
Golem's.
Golem.
Oh, that's Golem?
That's another body that he
Change-
has.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
different
okay,
bodies.
okay. So
Right.
you kind of have like the group that's gonna be, the main.
All the boys are
main
still
group.
there.
And the
Crimson.
remnants of the Argentium core. You still got Glasses, the maid. She's still alive.
The
in
maid
there.
But they're like left
The
behind
maiden's
though, right?
thick.
They're kind of.
No.
Yeah, they're with Starlia. They're with Starlia. They're not leaving
Dude,
Starlia. They're not
dude,
leaving
they're gonna
Starlia.
follow. Yeah, they're not gonna.
They're not
her.
leaving Starlia.
Starlia's got to come back in.
Yeah.
at some
They
point.
and they will fight with him until she's back. I see that.
They're not leaving
I can
Starlia.
see it. I can see
They're
it.
gonna protect her till she wakes up
They owe Crimson a debt.
to protect Starlia. In my opinion, because Starlia's gonna help them tenfold when she wakes up.
When she wakes up, she'll make me another sword. Yeah, that's gonna happen.
She's super strong too.
She is super strong.
Dudes, did y'all feel that ending? Like when the song came on and he
Because
walked
like
away?
it's the culmination of everything.
Yeah,
it's
like time to
done.
hunt the next bloodline and like
Yeah.
Starlia being alive. It just look.
Now go ahead, take control now. Go ahead.
Look, I get it. There were so many inconsistencies,
Right.
but sometimes your feelings just override that, man. I really
Right.
felt like teary eyed a little bit. I was like, man, this kind of feels like TYE. This feels like
Ooh.
homegirl dying, giving her life up to become something that Fushi can use.
Right.
I kind of felt that feeling at the end. Man. I was like, I don't know, man.
It was a long ride.
know, man.
It was a long ride, and
so happy.
I was here. We were all here for it. Whether or not we
Emotional.
liked some parts of that ride,
Yes.
the scenery of that ride, we
Look,
might
let
not
me
have
take
liked
control
it.
again.
We might not have liked it, but we were here for it, and he is gonna hopefully get a few new friends, old friends.
Yeah.
Pink-haired girl come back maybe. New foe. Claw, Claw Monarch. But yeah, that's how it ends. And favorite characters? I mean,
Starlia.
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 Starlia?
It's got to be Starlia. But Starlia, like before she died, like 3 times.
I appreciated Crimson,
It's
man.
not her fault she died that many times.
I like short hair Starlia.
It's not her fault.
Oh.
But
Bob.
when she was like taking control of the battle,
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was so
yeah.
hot. Cool.
That was so,
No, you said
So
hot.
cool.
You said hot.
she's
Cool.
a princess.
So cool.
Hime-san.
So yeah, that was really badass to see like how much people like loved her and admired her and like wanted to do better for
Mhm.
her. That was so awesome, and it was so easy to get behind her as a character.
She was kind of like Yami.
I wish I could have joined the.
Push her limits. Yeah, she
no,
kind of
not,
was.
not even that, but just like her my love for her. Like I love Yami, I love Starlia.
I wish I could have joined the Corps. Like
Honestly,
during
yeah.
that fight, I was like,
I don't
can't do that.
all the nobodies died in the Corps. We would have been nobodies.
Maybe, dude.
all
I
the
don't know,
nobodies
dude.
died.
We don't know that.
Oh, the old man was.
Yeah, we don't know that.
Yeah,
He lasted a good while.
I mean, we could. Devin probably
Yeah.
be missing an arm and a leg. We don't know.
I would have died. I would have died.
You would have been all bandaged up, like just waiting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would have been like, I'm gonna help too, and then
yeah,
just,
but you would have like unlocked that another like the other level because like you love Starlia so much.
Right.
maybe, yeah.
You would have been like the last one to sacrifice yourself, get in front of her.
I would have been like Shin, but died.
Yeah. So you said y'all both said Starlia.
Starlia.
Okay. I choose Crimson just throughout the
Yeah, Crimson's awesome.
throughout the entire series. You really see how far Crimson's willing to go to not
Crimson's awesome.
just kill the dragons, but to achieve whatever goal, ulterior motive that she may have.
Wants to die.
Yeah, wants to die.
I
All those.
guess when he could have died, totally.
Oh, yeah,
He could have died.
but then his mission wouldn't be finished though.
Yeah, but okay. So is your mission to die, or is your mission to kill the dragons?
I think the first one is to kill the dragons
I
and then
thought
die
it-
at the end of it.
Okay, I thought it was to die.
I mean,
Okay,
can't do
fine.
both. Can
he
do
wants he wants revenge against the dragons for making
right
him.
before he dies.
Okay, fine.
So that's you see that throughout the entire season. Crimson is willing to do almost whatever it takes,
I loved him.
bordering to the point of killing her own people,
Him.
her
Her-
army.
Zim.
Yeah. So do we have like a really favorite moment from? Because remember, this is not just the entire series was both cores.
Yeah.
12 episodes. You know.
Yeah.
Each.
Starlia getting decapitated the first time.
That's
First
your favorite.
First decapitation
You
of
love,
Starlia.
you love that moment?
I'll never forget it.
So that's
I'll
like
never
right
forget it.
before we find out she's alive,
It's
right?
probably the
Like,
biggest
just
moment.
that.
Probably the biggest moment to me. I'll never forget it.
So
That little moment of
one
them
of
thinking they won and then get your head cut off. Good.
you chill, dude.
Take control.
So my favorite, it wasn't just a specific moment, but it was the fight whenever Ragna first went after the monarchs
Oh yeah,
in the town.
Ultimate
Oh,
Tia, that first fight with Ultimate Tia.
Dude,
That was cool.
Yeah,
that was the end of Core 1, and it just set up the rest of the anime to be like to give this anime like the expectations of through the roof to
Yeah.
the moon, like to be this badass, the next best anime. Like it just really got me. In.
I was about to say, with that sentence, it sounds like your gripe's gonna be just off of that.
Yeah, it's sick.
It really, I mean, it's set up the second half for failure, but it was so at that point in time, I was so like invested, so
sure.
involved. Like I didn't want it to stop at that point in time. So.
Yeah, for sure. Rebellion, fucking awakening.
Yeah,
dude. So much stuff
yeah,
happened.
yeah, that
so
was
much
cool.
Happened.
I mean, I just like just all the fights that happened in the second core. I realized the second core wasn't the best half of this season.
What's your favorite moment?
But no, well, all the fights happening at once. You guys didn't like it.
Oh,
I know you guys
the
didn't
last
like
three
it.
episodes.
I'm talking about Nibelium controlling all the mechanical stuff, and then Golem and
It's
Chimera
your
taking
favorite?
on. I liked the scale of like this was a final war against this entire bloodline, and they did it just like that. I appreciated the scale of the battles. You might have liked how many there was. For you, the pacing for that was too much,
It
but
felt
for
like
me,
the Naruto War.
that was the best part of Naruto. You
No,
kidding
it was
me?
not. The Naruto
Madara
War
just
was
coming
not
out in
the-
there and just like wrecking shop, and then
That
them
was a good
fighting all
moment.
the.
That was a good moment in it, but the best part of Naruto was not the war. That
You're
war
crazy.
was dragged out and a mess.
It was beautiful.
Nah.
It made the entire Shippuden
I'm gonna
series.
get you with that one, Kurt.
Yeah. What are you talking
The
about?
modern part was cool.
The way that they kind of brought. I mean, I don't
It's
want
not
to
Naruto,
get into
it's not
Naruto.
Naruto.
I don't want to get into Naruto.
But I understand your sentiment. All the fucking reanimated people coming back and wrecking.
Nah,
I
it's
hate,
not Naruto.
please roast him in the comments. Naruto War was the best part. So
Best part of Naruto War was the opening song.
yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. Yeah.
That's one
Okay.
minute of Naruto.
All right. So we might as well get to our gripes because I can already feel it. Like you guys are like about to say it anyway. So go
Yeah.
ahead. What's the biggest gripe for this season?
I'll get mine out of the way. What am I gonna choose? Starly dying
Twice?
times, or am I
She's in a
gonna-
coma.
I mean,
She's not dead.
she might be a vegetable, but am I gonna choose that? Am I gonna choose just the pacing of the end of the anime? The battle just kind of seemed like
Not
it
slow
just-
enough.
It's a mess.
It just
a mess.
there was a lot going on there.
I loved it.
I'm gonna go with Starly dying.
First
over-
time?
Over and over again.
Oh, okay.
Where I feel like they just kind of like really played on that, and for that it just felt diluted for me.
Mhm.
It didn't.
Mhm.
It didn't. When she was
Lost its impact.
dying of the poison, I was like, oh, I wish this bitch would be dead. You know? like
Whoa.
like for real this time. Like
Whoa.
but I knew she wasn't going to be.
Right.
So at that time, it's like you're just playing with my heart. The first time I really felt it, I was like,
Yeah.
No.
That first one.
Yeah.
Because at that time I was ready to run through a wall for Starla. The second time though,
You ready to like help that poison
Yeah.
help,
Push it along.
help it go along?
she needs to die. So that's gonna be my biggest gripe.
Okay. Cray.
Yeah, the inconsistency. I mean, from going from super realistic fights to like the fights early on were like all the way even through the Starlia fight until Starlia died. Everything was perfect to me in terms of fighting, in terms of capabilities. It didn't seem like a bunch of Super Saiyan shit. After Starlia died, it really kind of lost its focus to me, and the world maneuvering just seemed kind of ass pulley. A lot of ass pulley stuff going on. I just kind of lost it for me. I was ready to make Ragna Crimson like the best new anime up there.
Kobe.
And that's why he's. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that. That's too
Whoa.
soon. Yeah.
And it kind of lost a lot of that realism for me in the world of Build. In the world of Build, it lost the realism to me, especially with the head cutting off of Ragna.
I'm just
Come on.
pushing back on that though.
There was a
Like,
lot
it's
of
just-
heads cut off
Yeah.
that were put
Reattaching?
back on.
It lost its impact, man.
I can only I can only push back on that and say that was just the level of power that they were at. If the Dragon Monarchs can do that, I mean the dragons, the Supreme Dragons that are that level of power can do it, then he should be able to too.
You don't like that.
That's fine. That's fine, and that's why those are the gripes. I also
Years.
have a gripe, not even the pacing. It's just the fact that they did take away a lot from the impactful moments.
Dude, Nibelium should have been the next thing, dude.
Yeah,
Like
Nibelium.
Nibelium dying
screwed.
so cheaply. It was a cheap death for Nibelium. It was a cheap life for Starlia. It was a cheap death for Slime. He didn't really have a shine either. There was a lot of cheap things that they did. I guess I don't know, to cut corners or to save on time. I don't know, but it just didn't sit right with me because it meant more to me when Starlia died the first time. It meant more to me when Nebelium got a power up and he should have fought again.
Yeah, cheap stuff is a good way to put it.
It was cheap, and I didn't like it. I didn't like that, but it doesn't take away from my rating, which we're gonna get into now.
Go ahead, rate it.
Okay, I loved it. Both
Lead the
core,
way.
I appreciated both cores for what they were. Right, I'm gonna give it a solid 7.5.
I mean, it's all right.
It's I'm taking away that 0.5. It could have been an 8, but all the things that I had problems with, and it wasn't as pull. His head got cut off, and he put it back on. I can admit my ass pulls. Okay.
I do too.
No, I can.
You want me to go next?
Yeah, I'm still counting.
Okay. So who's Leo or who?
Leonica? Leonica.
Whoa.
Leonica.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's a reason why he got into fighting dragons, so she would be safe.
Right.
And we didn't hear anything else from her.
Disappeared.
Not yet.
So I mean, first the core one, dude, I was so in love with this anime. I was ready to give it like 9.5. Like,
All right, just subtract from there though.
Me too.
And unfortunately, that's what I have to do. That's what I'm reduced to.
Okay.
And
That's a
that
fair
being
number.
said, Paul, I feel like I can't like it as much as you.
That's okay.
So therefore,
I didn't like Violet Evergarden. It's all right.
So
it's
therefore,
okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7.
I mean, it's all
Yeah,
right.
that's
like,
fair.
It was
That's
a good anime. I wish they could have maybe drug it out maybe a little bit more. The ending of it maybe
Longer pacing.
Yeah, so I say drug it out so
Just-
that way you can give it more. You can give Nebelium some more shine. You can everybody's heads don't have to get cut off and then put back on.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean, that's the power level that they're on now.
it doesn't have to go out like that.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like, where do you go?
honestly
Super Saiyan Green.
Because like the next fight, like it's gonna be way more like ridiculousness going on because your head can get cut off and now nothing happens. It's like
These are the power levels we're dealing with now.
fine, but it's just it kind of takes away from because there's some people under that power level. So am I gonna be hyped to see someone else fight that I know is weak as hell?
Are all the Supreme Dragons number 1 and 2? No,
Yeah,
they're
but,
like 5
the
through
lower
10.
people are
It's not gonna matter.
aren't as meaningful.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
core, the
That's
Argentium core,
Definitely picking
those
second
guys
season.
aren't going to be meaningful. What is Shin going to do? What is he going to do?
Not with anything else. His arms and legs. I don't know.
There's nothing else that he can do. The only thing he was really good for at the end was a headbutt.
Until
That
she
barely-
wakes
I feel
up.
like that barely did anything.
Until
To a
Starly wakes
Supreme
up.
Dragon.
So
To a Supreme
and
Dragon.
that being said, 7.
Cool.
I really love the first half of this anime.
I feel the same way. I feel that.
I wish, dude, that I can give it.
It's all right. Just wait till we get to Solo.
A 9
Just
and
wait.
a half, dude. I wish.
Fair. I'm giving this thing a 7 as well. I got to 74
like-
in my count. I was getting close to 75. I got to 74 on my count. Giving it a 7. I feel like this anime has approached One Piece level in terms of it's not about the fights anymore because the fights are kind of ass pulley. It's about the moments.
You saying One Piece is ass bully?
There's not ass pulley, but it's not really about the fights. It's about the moments. Like these moments in this hit.
Okay.
They hit. The ending song, Starlia
Oh,
dying.
any song was
The moment where the first time we see them fight the big city, the Ultimatia reverse time, but they had whenever she stopped time, you could see Ragna kind of moving it, like for a second. These little moments I remember that really made the show.
Those are all from the first core.
No, I just the ending song. Yeah,
The
I mean,
first
it's
core was like 9.5.
the
first core.
Second core had some good moments
the
too.
talk with Ragna and Crimson. Crimson's like, "Yo, stop being a
Yeah,
pussy."
yeah.
I'm sorry, Ragna said, "Stop being a pussy." To Crimson. And
Right.
Crimson tried to poison him, but didn't work.
Not just that,
Those
but
moments-
also the introduction of Starly was in the second core.
Big
Come
time
on.
moments. Big time moments.
All
So
right.
I gave it a 7.
All right, guys. All right. You said what you said. You can't take it back now. All right. I don't want to hear you on the second season talking shit. So that's been Crimson, Ragna Crimson. We will be here for the second season when it comes out. Like, subscribe, comment on why they're fucking wrong. Thank you.